Chapter 12 Bhakti Yoga. Sometimes to find the right answers, you need to ask the right questions. And I will start by asking you a question today. Very simple, very basic. What is happiness? Since our goal and the purpose of life is happiness, what is this happiness all about? Sometimes, physical suffering can even bring a deeper sense of satisfaction, like with an athlete after a grueling workout. So would you agree if I tell you that happiness means a sense of deep satisfaction? The object of life or our goal then is to find this satisfaction. Now happiness, sadness or suffering, in fact there are two levels. One is a sense level and the other is a mental level. The sense level is common even with tiny mammals or even insects. Have you ever seen a little fly? In a cold climate when the sun comes out, a fly shows a happy aspect. It flies around nicely. But in a cold room, it slows down. It shows a sense of sadness. But if there is a sophisticated brain, there is even a stronger sense of sense pleasures. We human beings have been gifted with what I call a sophisticated brain, but also plenty of intelligence. And we have a marvelous intellect. So the mental level of our experience is more dominant than at the physical level. The reason why I make this point is we all need to ask questions. We all need to be curious. That is how we use the divine intellect which has been gifted to us. Now coming back to the Bhagavad Gita, do you know why Arjuna is considered to be great? Amongst the many qualities that he has always exhibited, one simple trait that is seen in the entire Bhagavad Gita is his curiosity. The importance of curiosity is necessary to understand so that one begins to cultivate it. Curiosity is the exercise of the mind and keeps the mind active. It pumps energy into a person as a curious person explores every aspect of the world and finds numerous possibilities. So, it would be safe to summarize, the curious people enjoy life and achieve whatever they set the goal on. Parents and teachers must foster this spirit in children, and this would be a great contribution by them for the future. Most necessary trait to be cultivated by all is also patience, which results in one being able to answer all questions posed by a curious student or child. Krishna exhibits this wonderful quality by answering in detail every question posed by Arjuna. Only a fearless student can ask questions to the teacher, and this fearlessness takes birth when the teacher or leader has the quality of being approachable. Managers and leaders and teachers and parents across the world listening to me, please create an environment of fearlessness amongst every person you interact with, because this is how constant learning and development happens. The spirit of learning and development stands on the basis of fearlessness and curiosity. Now Arjun begins chapter 12 by asking Krishna, how can one become a devotee, and about the techniques of devotion. Arjun seeks to know which of the two methods is better to attain the spiritual realization. He begins the chapter with the perennial question that confuses mankind for eternity. Should one worship God with a form or as a formless reality? That is, whether the truth is to be meditated upon as unmanifested absolute or in its manifested form. Krishna answers by explaining the importance of both types of worship to spiritual development, one catering to the devotional and the other to the intellectual propensity of the seekers. Krishna enumerates various ways in which a person could attain God realization and the various qualities necessary for the same. The beauty of chapter 12 is in the flexibility that God Himself provides for us to reach Him. He shows us various pathways traveling through which we can reach to Him. So enjoying the journey becomes the most important point. Today we are all spoiled with choice in everything, Similarly, we have choice in the path of Bhakti too. Bhagavad Gita is the only document where God Himself has showed human beings the simple path to reach Him. When God is infinite, He suggests to reach Him through infinite ways. Those who fix their minds on me and worship me with form, ever with the supreme faith, I consider them as perfect in yoga. Now, what does yoga mean? It means union with God. But those who worship me as the formless, or the unchanging, the imperishable and the omnipresent one, those who have restrained their senses, who are even-minded everywhere, who are engaged in the welfare of all beings, verily they also come to me. But for human beings, it is more difficult to realize the formless God than the one with form. But those who worship me, renouncing all actions in me, regarding me as the supreme goal, meditating on me with single-minded devotion, for them whose thought is set to me, O Partha, I will become very soon the one to relieve them from this cycle of birth and death. Fix your mind on me alone. Let your thoughts dwell in me. By doing so, you will live in me hereafter. But if you are not able to fix your mind steadily on me, O Dhananjaya, then seek to reach me by Abhyasana Yoga, through constant practice. And if you are unable to do constant practice, be intent on doing all actions for my sake. Even by performing actions for my sake, you will attain perfection. If you are unable to do even this, surrender thyself to me in love, not worrying about the fruits of actions. Better indeed is knowledge than formal practice. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is the renunciation of the fruit of action. Surrender in love. Peace immediately follows this. He who hates no being, who is friendly and compassionate to all, who is free from the feeling of I and mine, even-minded in pain and pleasure and forbearing, ever steady, constant in meditation, self-controlled and possessed of firm conviction, with mind and intellect fixed on me, now such a devotee is very dear to me. He by whom the world is not afflicted, and whom the world cannot afflict, he who is free from joy, anger, fear, anxiety, he is dear to me. He who has no wants, who is pure and prompt, unconcerned and untroubled, and who is selfless in his undertakings, he who is devoted to me is dear to me. He who neither rejoices nor hates nor grieves nor desires, renouncing good and evil, treating both as the same, so full of devotion, he is dear to me. He who is the same to foe and friend, and also in honor and dishonor, who is the same in cold and heat, in pleasure and pain, who is free from attachment, to whom blame and praise are equal, who is silent, content with anything, free of selfish attachment, steady-minded and full of devotion, such a one is dear to me. Now those who follow this immortal dharma, described with devotion and faith, looking upon me as a supreme goal, they are exceedingly dear to me. Take a deep breath. You may want to go back again and again to listen to these lines. Bhakti, my friends, is a state of the mind. It cannot be described in words which the intellect can understand. It is not a process that can be described in certain steps. My friends, you need to feel this. You need to experience this. If you like what you heard, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.